What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. You can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubt. And I have my doubt that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. Messed up and out of touch, let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. Please ignore the little stupid thingy down in bottom left corner. It should disappear, although it didn't the one night. Hang on, let me switch screens here. Sometimes I can get it to go away, but otherwise it just takes a moment. So anyway, um, I am wholly unprepared tonight. So right before, and I mean like 5 minutes before I was due to go live, I'm shooting a short video reply to a video that J.A. Dudley had done, because I'm trying to get through thick skulls apparently, and that is a very hard thing to do, especially when people have pride and ego as big as a hot air balloon. Anywho, lots of craziness, going on. It's oh, that's funny. I got a private message that was on Facebook that's hilarious. Anywho, so I was shooting a quick video reply to his video. And I didn't get a chance to hear all of it, but I heard most of it. He was talking about skills and abilities and having a bunch of skills and abilities, and I'm still asking about the same skills and abilities that I've been asking here for 10 years now. And nobody wants to answer the question, and that it's the same question. I don't change the question. That would be wholly unfair. How do they plan to plant, harvest, and process enough food for the people and livestock for a year without the combustion engine? I'm just wondering, because I don't see how it can be done. And you can't use that, well, the Amish do it, or, well, they did it back in 1902. Well, of course they did, because that was the only way they had to do it back in 1902. And largely, they had the equipment, the trained animals and people to be able to pull that off. They also had a lot less of a population at that time. Now, people might say, well, I'm not taking care of the world because I've got my group. Well, you tell that to all the people that are beating on your door. I'm just saying that as a way to put it. Because I don't care how well prepared you are. I don't care how big a Billy Badass you are, or how well trained your team is. Enough people, and you're done. It is not that hard to set a ways away from a target with a sniper rifle and pick people off. How many pickings does somebody have to do before you're either willing to listen or you're down enough people that you're not going to be able to pull off your set goals anyway? So I mean, it's foolishness. Absolute foolishness. And I'm not doing it. I'm not trying to be in anybody's face. I guess maybe I am trying to be in their faces, but not in that way. I'm trying to save people. And the problem with the prepping community, and much of the world, it's not just the prepping community, it's much of society. They constantly They want to copy one another. Nobody wants to stop and look to see if that wheel was quite designed the way it would best work. And sometimes we have to do that. And that's something that I have done all my life. I don't know why. It's just when I look at something, I start asking the questions, could this be done better? And I've always done that. It's just a natural thing for me. And so when I started out with preparedness, I didn't go to YouTube. I didn't start watching YouTube video. I sat down and I thought, what will it take to survive? I didn't go and look for any lists. My entire prepping whatever you want to call it, list, priorities, what have you, were 100% self-initiated. I didn't go anywhere and go get a list or anything like that. I sat down with a fresh mind and fresh thought as to what will it take to survive. And one of the early on things that I realized is that we have to have some level of technology or we're screwed. Because we do not have what they had back in 1902. If we did, okay, no sweat. But we don't. And it doesn't matter if you've got a 1,000-gallon tank out back buried 50,000 feet under the earth. It doesn't matter because that fuel is going to run out. You can't coax that fuel into reproducing itself and creating more. It doesn't work that way. I know I make it sound stupid, but that's how stupid it is. All I'm trying to do is help people. That's all I'm trying to do. And these jackwagons are completely non-receptive to anything that goes beyond their knowledge or capability. And their pride and ego is literally going to cost them. I don't know how, how am I supposed to approach that? The old saying holds true. You can't fix stupid. I don't know. Maybe if you beat it in the head enough, maybe it'll listen. I don't know. I don't know. That was my dad's theory. It seemed to work for us. And you get smacked upside the head good enough, you're going to listen. But, what do? How do you let people know? Because here's the thing. People like me aren't ever going to have a big channel because I'm too honest and I'm too upfront and I'm unapologetic for it, and nothing will change on that. I'm not here to kiss people's asses. I'm not here to smooth out the rough edges and make myself palpable or whatever. I'm here to be me. The Father put me here to be me, not to be somebody else, not to try to pander to people, He put me here because He knows that I can stay on mission. And He knows, and I know, and I trust Him, that He wants me to be who I am. Because for those to be able to stick around, definitely gotta have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, without a doubt, because none of what I do is good. And I know that, and I get that, and I accept that. If He wanted it any other way, believe me, He would let me know. He would let me know. But He don't. I think my issue is my issue. It's my hang-up. Right? Because the Father sees it as people that Hosea 4:6, people that don't want that knowledge, He doesn't want them. That's how the Father looks at it. Let me see if I can get that to disappear. Nope, still not disappearing. That's how the Father looks at it. And the way I look at it is, just if I could get people to listen, maybe I could save lives. And maybe that's not what I'm supposed to do. Never has He said that you're here to save as many people as you can. Never. Never. Not once. It's always just been, tell the truth, be somewhere for people to go, for honest news, for news that's not being swayed this way and that. He did tell me to teach about wood gasification, but He didn't tell me to get a big stick and beat people in the head until they listen. So I don't know. But I do know that there's a whole lot of people, and I believe good people, at least they have good intentions. they're going to fall to the wayside because there are some very basic, simple things that they don't understand and clearly have not considered. You know, I get all kinds of excuses, and every time I've ever gotten an excuse, it's like, that's the dumbest damn excuse you could ever give me. One of them is, oh, well, my animals eat in the pasture. Oh, do they? In the winter? When there's nothing for them to eat? Really? How's that work? But you can't get through to them. The pride and ego is just on a stupid level. On an absolute stupid level. Anyway, I'll get off that soapbox. We had an earthquake tonight. And it happened, I forget what time. I know people in the local group were saying, well, the USGS map should say, one moment, let me pull that up. I guess it would have been probably 6:55, because I remember people saying 55, so let me find it. 1855. So yeah, 6:55. It finally settled down to they're now saying a 2.8 magnitude earthquake. And we've had earthquakes here, you know, but only one of them do I ever recall, and it's been since we've been living here. Only one of them do I ever recall. Man, it's a stupid thing. Hang on. I'll just shut it off if it's not going to go away. No, I'll just shut it off. So, anyway, we've had them here, and I can remember one night, I heard the next day that we had a minor quake in the area, and it's like, well, I thought I felt something last night, but I wasn't sure. Well, this time I was absolutely sure. I was just sitting here at the computer, and we have a concrete block home, and it's built on a concrete slab, so it's a concrete slab home. And I'm sitting here in my computer chair. I didn't have any videos playing. No, there was no sound other than the whirring of the computers, and that was it. And I felt something, and I heard the rumble, and I actually even heard the house shake a little bit. And I was like, holy cow. And the very first thing I did was go to the local group, the local Facebook group, and I asked the question, did everyone feel/hear that? Did we just have a minor quake? And I mean, answers just came immediately rolling in. And absolutely, that's what people were saying that they felt as well. And then people were chiming in from towns like 20 miles away that were saying they felt it too. So I knew it had to be a quake. And then come to find out, hang on here. Oh, wow. So I may have been correct. Okay. So what I was suspecting, and I was just getting ready to say that, in the area where the earthquake happened, there are coal mines, and so my immediate suspicion was if a coal mine had collapsed. Now, I don't think that any of those coal mines are currently being used. I'm pretty sure that they've all been nixed. I think back when Obama did all of his nonsense, I think they closed up the rest of them. In fact, I think there was one that was like they just started or something like that, that they had closed up when Obama was at the helm. So just, it's crazy, but I think that's what I think that's what happened. I think a mine collapsed is what happened. I'm sure they'll probably have more information on local news and stuff like that coming. But anyway, as I said earlier, I come wholly unprepared. and I do not have any articles up, and stupid Yahoo. Yahoo's doing this thing now to where it's wanting to say that, like, YouTube, when they email you, letting you know that people commented or what have you, that it's spam, even though it's not. There's something shaking down in Texas this evening. I just noticed that. Let's see. Okay. 2.6, 35 kilometers northwest of Toyah, Texas. And then one I just seen it pop up. A 2.5, 58 kilometers south of White City. What is that? New Mexico? Yeah, New Mexico, which is like not far away from that other one. It's in Texas, not far away from where the other one was. So I wonder what that's all about. I don't know. I do heavily suspect, though, that ours was a mine collapse, and that's it. We are not that far away from the New Madrid fault, but I don't think that played a role. So I'm pretty sure it was a mining collapse. We'll find out, like I said, soon enough. But I'm wholly unprepared for the show tonight. I have 0 articles up. So what I figured I would do is we'll just go through the headlines, and if we see something interesting, we'll pull it up. I was going to put out a video earlier today about, it really seems like there's a big, strong push right now to get rid of law enforcement, as far as like local law enforcement and stuff. And I've been saying for quite some time that they were pushing for a nationalized police force, a federal police force. And I'm starting to see articles in the news, and I mean, it's been going on for some time, but they really ratcheted up in the past couple of days. More or less directly aimed at getting people, against law enforcement. And I'm not the biggest fan of law enforcement in the world myself, but I would much rather have Barney Fife, the local guy, than what I would have some kind of a federal police force. So, it is what it is. I mean, it's sad, though, that it's law enforcement and not peacekeepers like it used to be. I mean, it's absolutely insane at this point. And when you have situations happen, and I never did really go into any more of that, but like what happened locally with my buddy that unfortunately lost his dog. Man, the chief of police really kind of came out. She put out a complete bullshit Facebook post about the incident. And I swear must have pretty much created a witness, I guess. They won't talk to the witness of the victim. They won't talk to the witness of the victim, and he did have a witness. He did have a friend with him. Nope, no contact, no talking to that witness, nothing. And, there are reasons I will say that this chief is probably suffering from inferiority issues, and it's sad. It's really, truly sad. It just really, if you're not going to be there to be for the people, if you're not going to be there to have true justice, to truly go after the wrongdoers and help out the innocent, then what the hell are you doing? Is it just a power grab? Is it just a paycheck? I don't know. But it's wholly disrespectful to your community and wholly disrespectful to humanity as a whole. Anyway, I'll get off that soapbox because I can get on that one for days. It's bullshit. And no excuse for it. So anyway, let's see. Most Russians believe cash will disappear in 20 years, says a poll. I thought that was kind of an interesting one. Germany had no prior knowledge of Moscow terror attack, says Scholes. Macron makes nuclear offer to BRICS nation. Ukraine's army in stagnation, says Zelensky's top advisor. Kremlin urges Telegram to work harder to prevent terrorism. Russia exits have cost Western firms over $100 billion, says Reuters. French strongly fear new terrorist attacks, says a poll. I know there's a couple that I figured I'd talk about. Germany probes prosecution in Russian tycoon's case, says Bild. Washington turns to Ankara, I'll get it right, to ramp up shell production, says Bloomberg. And that to me makes no sense, but we got the dumbest government. Sky turns bright orange over far eastern Russian city. Ukraine censoring information, says U.S. State Department. You think? I mean, it's not like you aren't doing it too. This is one of the articles I was talking about. And they did up this whole big presentation for it, right? Why did more than 1,000 people die after police subdued them with force that isn't meant to kill, right? And there's an article on it here on with that specific headline, but that's not the notification that I got. That's not the notification that I got. I got the notification for this right here, okay, which is what they call a visual. Oh, you guys can't see it. I'm sorry. Should have said, hey, you're retarded. We can't see it. I would have been like, oh, yeah, I know. Okay. And fixed it. So, anyway, this is the article I was talking about. But this is not what came up on my phone earlier. What came up on my phone this morning was this here, which is what AP is calling a visual story. And I'm not going to play it because it gives you a warning that there could be graphic things and YouTube would all cry and it would be ugly and, you know. So I'm not going to play it. But, you know, there was another article as well. Well, actually, two other articles. And I don't have those up. And I don't think I tweeted them out. Because, again, go back to the TARD statement. And I was just like, it really seems like they're gunning after local law enforcement right now. And I may not be a fan, but I'd much rather have the local Barney Fife than I would than a federal law enforcement officer. That I mean, it's gotten centralized enough here, and I don't know all the details behind that. Everybody keeps pointing fingers at the other person. I don't know. It's sad, though. It's sad, especially when you put the kind of money into a public safety building that we did with a brand new state-of-the-art telecommunications center. And I don't know how long they even used that for. I believe less than a year. And then they gave the telecommunications over to the county. Makes no damn sense, except to the people that benefited from it. We got to get those people out of public office. There's one in particular that's responsible for a whole lot of that. Anyway, U.S. didn't share full intelligence on Moscow terror attack, says New York Times. And now you have Russia really asking questions about it. Russia for Russians slogans alarming, says Putin. And I am a little suspect of that. It's more or less like there's the bubbling up of some nationalists in Russia, and Putin's not good with that. Putin's not good with that. I'm not foolish. I am not foolish. There's a lot of little things that I've seen bubble up in Russia that really sound like U.S. involvement. That would be one of them. Tajik man detained over Crocus massacre comments. This one I thought was interesting. Moscow terror attack suspects were on drugs, says media. So, of course, the obvious question would be, what drugs? They didn't say, but I will read what they did say. Traces of a drug that suppresses fear have been reportedly found in blood samples taken from the 4 suspects in last week's terrorist attack at a Russian concert hall. The claim came on Thursday from the online news outlet Baza, which cited an anonymous source who purportedly had insider information about the ongoing investigation into the Crocus City Hall massacre. 4 suspects were apprehended hours after the rampage that claimed over 140 lives. All of them had psychotropic substance in their blood that alters perception of reality, Baza claimed. It is understood that they took the unnamed drug before the gun and arson attack. So they don't say what drug it is. But that's got me really curious. Really curious. I mean, a lot of different drugs alter perception of reality. There aren't so much that suppress fear. It wouldn't be... See, I don't know if you could say something like methamphetamine would suppress fear or not, because I do know extended use will cause extreme paranoia. But I don't know, because I've never been a meth head. I don't know if you'll lose fear at first. That kind of almost makes sense, just from what I've heard about it. I don't know. Haven't really taken any drugs that suppressed fear, right? And I've lived my life, I'll put it that way. I don't think it's any of the hallucinogens that I've ever experienced, and that's going weed, shrooms, stuff like that. I don't know. I am curious, though. I am really curious what drugs it is. So, one of the reasons why I want to know, and it's got me really interested as to why they're not saying, is could this be a drug that was specifically manufactured for soldiers? Because, that's how methamphetamine started out. So that's my question. Is this a specific drug that was specifically manufactured for military use? Because that would speak volumes if it is. So that's why I'm curious more than anything. Let's see. Moscow terror attack I just talked about that. Melting polar ice causing distortions in time, says a study. Now, Ben Davison, Suspicious Observers, commented on that on his daily news this morning and says that's a bunch of bunk. He says they're claiming that the world, the Earth, is spinning slower, and from what he shows, it's not. It's not spinning slower. It's actually spinning faster. So I would advise you to go listen to his video that he put out this morning, Ben Davidson, Suspicious Observers. Listen to his video he put out this morning, because he's the one that knows that stuff way better than I do. But I just wanted to, make comment what Ben had to say after reading that. Scholes weighs in on Ukraine peace talks. Investigators establish link between Moscow terrorist attack suspects and Ukraine. Watch Russian military strike U.S.-made Abrams tank in Donbass. And, I posted the video on Facebook, and I posed the question. I've always got questions. I posed the question, how come they're not doing anything to scramble frequencies around military assets? To me, it seems like that's a no-brainer, right? If they're using drones to take your stuff out, why don't you make sure they can't use drones to take your stuff out? I mean, it's pretty simple. It's pretty damn simple. First of all, why aren't they detecting this coming in? Why don't they have the needed equipment to detect this coming in? Number one. And then number two, why aren't they using some type of a jamming system, a scrambling system, in order to interrupt the communication? And okay, let's say that there's not communication. Let's say that, and I don't even understand how it would be a pre-programmed path into a moving object, but let's say it had a little bit of AI or something like that. I'm telling you, if you put out a big enough burst of a frequency, you are going to screw that device up. And it just seems like they aren't doing anything. And by the way, I don't think it's some AI programmed device that can track a moving object. And no, I think somebody's flying it into the damn equipment. All you have to do is interrupt that connection. That's all you got to do. Damn thing will fall from the sky. And either that or it just keep flying on in its same trajectory at its same altitude. But these appear to be like FPV type of drones, not like DJI camera platforms or anything. They don't fly necessarily like a DJI camera platform. It seemed like it flew much more like an FPV drone. And so it makes no sense to me. Why aren't they trying to jam those frequencies or scramble them or something? But I don't know. Stupid is, stupid does. Whoever is in charge of their military defense probably needs to be in charge of handing out towels at a bathroom or something somewhere, because they suck at their job. Russia unaware, U.S. hid details of Moscow terror plot, says Kremlin. So, again, I don't know what all the details there, but we are edging closer and closer. No doubt about that. Trump overtakes Soros on world rich list. NATO general warns of Russian trap for Ukraine. Russia is very important for protecting Palestinians, says top Hamas official, talking to RT about the conflict with Israel. It's like a little, not one of their, it's a feature article, not an explainer, but I went ahead and posted it because of what it was. A friendship with Putin can help end Ukraine conflict, says ex-German chancellor. Palestinian president appoints new government. Ukrainian army gripped by gambling addiction, says MP. And again, how? I mean, are they like saying, hang on, time out, I'm going to go to the boat. I know they probably don't have gambling boats there because they don't have to weave around all the stupid laws and regulations, but nonetheless. Ukraine needs air defense to boost the birth rate, said Zelensky. What? Wait, huh? You need air defense to boost birth rate. Okay. The army needs more people. Israel will force ultra-Orthodox Jews to serve as patients among seculars runs out. I read this headline and it's like, wait a minute. I thought they were kicking ass and taking names. So why is it that now all of a sudden you need so many more people? I don't know. Like I say, lots of questions, not so many answers. Italian PM reveals how she rebuked Macron on Ukraine. Sam Bankman-Fried, I know it looks like fried, but I think they say freed when they say it, sentenced to 25 years in prison. A tribal leader calls for recognizing whales as people. And before anybody laughs too much, he may have a point. I want to make sure I at least come close to saying it right. I think it's Maori or something. Let me find, Maori people, and I'm probably pronouncing it way wrong, but I wanted to at least try to get it right. I'm not going to laugh at him, because I was taught that whales actually are smarter than humans. And so, with that in consideration, man, I don't know, it's something that certainly should be up for discussion, and we certainly need to be respectful of them. It would be amazing if we could tap into that knowledge. It would be so amazing. But the human race probably wouldn't like what they heard, and they would probably reject it. I doubt whales have the pride and ego that mankind does. Let's see. UN issues warning on growing British racism. UN court orders Israel to let food into Gaza. We'll see how that goes. A foreign state obviously supported Moscow terror attack, says Erdogan aide. West protests too much about Kiev's possible role in Moscow terror attack, says Lavrov. And I tend to agree with him. China's electric tech advances unfair competition, says U.S. Treasury. No, maybe we just need to stop what we're doing and running our country into the ground in every way that we can for the almighty dollar. And maybe it wouldn't be so, quote-unquote, unfair. I don't know, just a thought. Lastly here, new NATO member admits sovereignty issue with U.S. pact. So, tons of craziness. That's never in lack. Not here in the good old U.S. of A. So I would say what I've been saying for a long damn time. People really need to be prepared. Seriously, really need to be prepared. Just all there is to it. Anyway, I am gonna boogie and get on out of here. I got a couple people to answer to in Messenger, and I'm not right this moment. I'm not feeling as bad as what I was yesterday and the days prior, but I'm still waking up pretty rough, and the big thing is the dehydration. I don't know what's up with that, but I am like wholly dehydrated when I wake up several times during the night. And that's something that's different. I'm not used to being that dehydrated. So I have no idea. But I am going to get out of here, answer my private messages, and a few more people that's in the group there that commented, and God willing, I won't see you tomorrow, actually. And I want to remind folks too, although I should remember to remind you on Sunday night, but I probably won't. Monday will be another town meeting. So I do plan on recording the audio of that town meeting. And depending on how long that lasts, it could either make the show a little bit late, or if it's a long, long meeting like the last one, we may not have a show Monday night. So I will probably forget to remind folks Sunday, but and if I do, I said it tonight. Does that count? Anyway, I'm out of here. God willing, I will see you Sunday night. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.